welcome back to the David67 Celtic News YouTube channel. Today's video going to be a little opinion section on whether Celtic should keep Joe Hart as our number one goalkeeper and what the various options are in terms of keeping him short-term, long-term and replacements in the short-term and long-term. Before we crack on with the video, please do, if you haven't already, click that subscribe button, like the video if you enjoy it, and also feel free to pop comments in the comment section. And I've also done an online poll in the community section. Also, if you could, do please pass on the details of the channel to other Celtic fans, football fans, to try and get the subscriber numbers going back on the up and up. So, having had a good read through a lot of different articles online, various different Celtic fan sites online, and also YouTube channels, and also reviewing a lot of the pundits on TV and the internet, one of the burning questions with regard to Celtic is what the long-term future is for Joe Hart, and even is the short-term best option to drop Joe Hart now and replace him most likely with Scott Bain until the end of the season. Having a look at the statistics, Joe Hart has a pretty good record as Celtic goalkeeper, 52 clean sheets in 120 matches, which is a 43% clean sheet record, which is perfectly fine. This would contrast with recent Celtic goalkeepers like Craig Gordon, who had a 50% clean sheet record. Fraser Forster also had a 50% clean sheet record. Artur Burek, the Polish goalkeeper, lower clean sheet record at 39%. Interestingly, his backup currently at Celtic, Scott Bain, has a 50% success rate, clean sheet record with Celtic, admittedly having played quite a few matches fewer than Joe Hart. Scott Bain has had one game this season covering for Joe Hart when Hart was suspended, and also played just over a half in the game when Hart was sent off. Scott Bain did look rather shaky in the half and a bit that he replaced Hart after the red card against Livingston, but did do pretty well in his start when Hart was suspended. Celtic do have a number of options in the long term regarding Joe Hart. His contract is due up at the end of the 23-24 season. At that point, he will be 37. The indications are that Joe Hart is quite keen to stay at Celtic, as he's enjoying the club and enjoying the fans, and also seems amenable to being the number two goalkeeper and having a mentoring role, even coaching role, backing up a younger new goalkeeper. Other option, of course, would be just to let his contract lapse in May 2024 and say thank you and goodbye, or giving him a contract for another couple of years, taking him up to just about 40, when most goalkeepers are thinking of hanging up their gloves. So, as I see it, there are a number of options, keeping Joe Hart as number one until the end of the season, giving him a new contract to be the backup to a new goalkeeper such as Kelleher or Lunan, or looking to sign a top level Scottish goalkeeper, the best of whom probably at the moment is Angus Gunn at Norwich. he may be quite keen to come to Scotland and have a chance of regular medals and European level football rather than languishing in the English Championship forever and ever. Um, the other option at this point would be to say, yep, let's keep Joe Hart until the January transfer window and try and bring in a top level goalkeeper in January, which may be more difficult as most teams aren't that keen to sell goalkeepers at that time of the season, although options might be bringing in a goalkeeper from the leagues which are on a winter break or don't play in the winter, such as the Scandinavian leagues, or possibility would even be bringing in a goalkeeper from Japan, as their season will be all done by then. And bringing in Japanese players has been a success in the past recently for Celtic. And finally, another option would be to put Joe Hart onto the bench, bring in Scott Bain, keep Scott Bain either until January and then try to sign a new goalkeeper then, or keeping Scott Bain to the end of the season and trying, when the talent pool for transfers is much greater, to bring in a replacement for him then. I personally would keep Joe Hart as the first choice goalkeeper. I think he's done, after a slightly shaky start to the season, really pretty well for Celtic. He's made some good saves for Celtic, and in many games this season, he's been rather quiet, not had much to do, but made his important saves and marshalled the defence well. I think he's starting to build up a pretty good relationship and understanding with Celtic's usual starting back four. I think that's also quite key to Celtic doing well. I would always be a bit nervous with Scott being in goals, particularly as he's not really had very much first team football. And at the end of last season, when he did play one game replacing Hart, he had a pretty much of a nightmare, conceding 4 goals to Hibs. So in the comment section, feel free to pop in your opinion. Also, as I said, there's an online poll giving various different options as to whether we should keep Hart as first choice, then give him another couple of years as a backup on a contract, releasing him in May 2024, having had him as number one until then, or replacing him with Scott Bain either in the short term until a new goalie in January, or up until the end of the season with a new goalie coming in the summer of 2024. Having had a look at the game against Atletico Madrid, Hart did make some 3 very, very good saves, keeping the score down. The first goal, one could say he maybe was at fault. There was a deflection that did seem to carry the ball wider to his left. Also got the balls up bubbling and bouncing awkwardly. He did seem to maybe go down a wee bit early, and so wasn't really able to cope with the deflection that took it wider and took it over his diving arm. The 6th goal, I think one has to fully agree that he was at fault. Very odd position, being deep into his net, which was also the case on the disallowed Morata goal in the first half. However, goals 2, 3, 4, and 5, I don't think many goalkeepers on this earth could have stopped, as they were such excellent strikes right into the corner or right into the top of the goal. I don't think any of those 4 goals were stoppable. And as I said, he made 3 excellent saves. Otherwise, we could have been looking at 9 or 10. The concern was certainly why he was so deep into his goals on the disallowed Morata goal and on the 6th goal. whether that's poor technique, whether it was he just couldn't get his feet going to change position quick enough, it's less clear. I think personally that Hart is the best of the three goalkeepers that we've got. I don't think the younger goalkeepers, the B team goalkeepers, are at a level to bring in. Um, and so I think we should keep Hart to the end of the season, keep him on a 2-year contract um, as backup, and look to see if we can get in younger top level goalkeeper such as Kelleher, Lunan, or see whether there are any Scottish goalkeepers or top level goalkeepers wanting to come and play in Scotland, win a few medals, win a few titles, and get regular top level European football. However, do pop your comments into the comment section. Do have a wee go at the online poll. That finishes things off for today. With Celtic playing on Sunday against Aberdeen, I'll do the preview video of the Celtic Aberdeen match tomorrow. And so until then, thanks for listening, thanks for watching. Do like and subscribe and pass on details to other Celtic fans and football fans. Goodbye and hail, hail.